interesting report coming out this morning from Ian Rappaport. The Browns apparently had exit interviews, or whatever they called it. And in their exit interview with Baker Mayfield, they apparently said he will be starting the 2022 season. I got a couple thoughts on this. Obviously, if you've been paying attention to my channel lately, I have said I see no way Baker's on the team next year. I still believe that, and I'll talk about that. But this is interesting because not just with Baker, because shortly after Ian Rappaport put out a tweet about Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks saying that Russell Wilson will be their quarterback next season. I don't necessarily believe that either. So here's the thing. I think there are probably three things that this could be. Number one, either it is true and Baker will be the starter next year and things will stay the same. Or number two, which I think is highly likely, that the Browns are trying to up his trade value, whatever value he has, by claiming that he will be the starter and they are fine with him. And the reason why I say that is because the Seattle Seahawks, doing this with Russell Wilson, they know he wants out. They know he doesn't want to be in Seattle anymore, and I can't blame him. So the smart thing to do would be to say, hey, we're not moving off of him, so that when teams call about Russell Wilson, they have that leverage. And I'm sure Seattle is completely fine keeping Russell Wilson if that's what they want to do. But I think they're in a position where that's not really an option. I think that they are not going to be able to keep Russell around because he doesn't want to be there. And I think that, in my opinion, that is a huge, huge factor on Seattle's side of things. For Cleveland, I think it's more of the player, not does he want to be here, does he not want to be here. So, again, either it's true, Baker's going to be here next year and things will stay the same, or this is to up Baker's trade value in hopes that some team would give up more because the Browns are allegedly fine with him next year. Or it could be this. It could be a mixture of both. It could be that Baker will be here next year playing on the fifth-year option, and the Browns will go out and either sign somebody better than Case Keenum to come in and challenge Baker. I think a Mitchell Trubisky, a Marcus Mariota type would be that kind of guy. Or they could just draft somebody and have him sit behind Baker. Now, I think the third option, I don't know. I think if the Browns draft a quarterback in the first round to sit behind Baker, that's a disaster. Because Baker Mayfield is an egomaniac. He thinks he's the greatest thing to ever happen to football. He's not going to take that lightly. He's going to try to stir up drama. It's just what he does. So I don't think that's a smart idea. Now, I really don't know. And it's not my position to answer the question of what's true and what's not true. I can tell you this much. Anybody who reads this on either side, whether for Cleveland or for Seattle with Russell Wilson, if you take that as gospel and 100% truth, then I don't know what you think you know about the NFL. Because we've seen many, many cases, and nobody knows it more than Cleveland. Dave Gettleman said we did not sign Odell Beckham Jr. to trade him. And guess what? They traded him. This stuff happens all the time. So people will see this report for both teams. You know, I'm sure there's Seattle fans saying the same thing. Russell's not going anywhere. But the reality is, the timing on this is what's interesting for me. Why would the Browns come out this early, and say that Baker's the guy next year? They will, regardless. I don't care what your opinion is. You can think Baker's the greatest quarterback of all time. The Browns will be looking at every single option, most likely in the trade market. They will look into Aaron Rodgers. They will look into Russell Wilson. They'll look into Deshaun Watson. They'll look into Kirk Cousins. They'll look into Derek Carr. You can disagree with any of those guys coming here, but they will look. And if you deny that, in my opinion, you're just denying, you're delusional. I think you are ignorant to this situation. So the Browns are going to do their due diligence. Now, could it be that they are trying to save themselves for if they fail? Could it be that they don't like anybody in the draft and they don't feel like they're going to be able to get somebody, so they are coming out and saying, hey, we're comfortable with Baker? Could be. Again, I said I don't think Baker will be on the Browns in 2022 because I don't think that both sides want to be in this situation anymore. I don't think that Cleveland wants him. I don't think that Baker wants Cleveland anymore. I think that's the point it's gotten to. And it's partial to blame on both sides, but the reality is Baker Mayfield is just not that great. He's got raw talent. He's got great NFL arm, accuracy, and strength when he's at his best. But the reality is, between the ears, he's not there. He's not even competent. That's why he makes such bad decisions. That is not injury related. It's not Kevin Stefanski's fault when Baker has wide open receivers and he doesn't throw the football. That is Baker Mayfield. So, with this report coming out, my advice would be take it with a grain of salt. Because just like with Russell Wilson in Seattle, take it with a grain of salt. It's probably not true. I think it's a little bit different on Cleveland's side because they don't exactly have a ton of easy options here. Cleveland's a team, in my opinion, that is ready to win now. The Seattle Seahawks are not. So the Browns are in an interesting situation. And it is coming into silly season time. You're going to see teams come out and do this all the time. You're going to see teams like the Carolina Panthers come out and say, we're committed to Sam Darnold next season. They're not. They are not. They're probably going to draft a quarterback. This stuff happens all the time. So to people on Twitter saying, oh, can we all get along now? Baker's going to be here next year. Baker's going to start next year. I'm not saying you're wrong. It could be that fact. It could be. Again, my opinion is this is over. Could I be wrong? Sure. And if I am, I'll eat my words. But don't take these reports as facts immediately. If this report had come out after free agency, about to be the draft, the Browns missed out on all these other names, then it would make sense to me. Then I would be like, okay, yeah, this is true. But the timing is very interesting to me. So, again, let me know your thoughts. Do you believe this? I would just say be careful falling into the trap because it happens all the time. You never know. Maybe Andrew Berry loves a quarterback in this draft. And he's saying all this stuff to try to up Baker's trade value, if he can, and then take those picks and turn them into a trade package to move up. You never know. The NFL is a business, and the Cleveland Browns are a business. And what's best for business for the Browns? And Andrew Berry is the only one who can answer that. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But anyway, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.